Hello shooters! In this short instructional video, let me introduce you to the product Gun UNICARE from AEROTEC and show you what it is used for. Gun Unic is a universal lubricating and preservative oil that protects the parts of the weapon against excessive wear and minimizes the clogging of the weapon after firing with fumes and minimizes the adhesion of steel scales in the main parts of the weapon. It is applied very simply by dipping and painting or spraying. It creates a fine homogeneous film, depth 2 to 10 microns. It is used to protect ferrous, non-ferrous metals, and alloys. Before the application itself, the weapon was cleaned and reassembled. We apply according to the manufacturer's lubrication plan, that is, we lubricate where the manufacturer prescribes. First, we treat the barrel. We treat the internal parts by applying a very small amount, by gently applying it to the walls of the chamber and letting it run down the walls of the barrel. Wipe excess oil from the barrel with a towel. And this is the treatment of the inner part. We will mainly also treat the surfaces that are movable and act together with the slide. So in the market, this means the outer part, mainly the one that moves in the slide, and the part that locks the barrel in the slide. Wipe off the excess oil again with a dry cloth. We continue to treat the parts of the weapon's body by lubricating the parts that are in contact with the movable parts, which are the guide rail. And we lubricate the connector. Wipe off the excess oil with the trigger pull. We can use a technique on some parts of the gun by applying a very small amount of oil to a cloth and treating these parts in the same way. With the body of the weapon equipped, we proceed to the slide itself, taking care not to stress any parts that are not prescribed. We can again use a cloth soaked in oil and treat the guide part. Or again, drip a very small amount onto the guide rail. We let gravity act to lubricate all parts. We wipe off the excess amount from the weapon. What is left of the gun can be used to lubricate other parts, and we will use a very small amount on the upper part of the slide where locking and unlocking occurs, and we will wipe off the excess amount again. What is left on the cloth can be used again on the external parts of the weapon, because the oil is also intended to protect all ferrous, non-ferrous metals and their alloys, and does not damage surfaces that are treated with brunner or blackening. So we can use it again by applying it to all external parts, mainly only the amounts that are left, and let the cloth act again. For 3 minutes, we can use a small amount on the return spring by dripping it again. And use it to carefully and thoroughly treat the entire recoil spring, making sure to cover all areas. After 3 minutes, the gun is ready for use. You can find detailed instructions on the inside of the packaging.